Happy Monday. It definitely looks like a Monday outside with this forecast as we have a dreary cold rain out there, and we've been working with it through the morning, and we're going to be working with it for the afternoon. You can see our spotty lens here with those raindrops as we overlook Levis Commons, mostly cloudy skies, and the heavy rainfall. Well, we've seen it, and we have even more to get through because the center of the storm isn't here yet. You're going to find that into Illinois, but it's actually having these bands further out to where we've gone through, well, one heavy band. We're working through the second one. We have another one that's going to be rolling through for the afternoon, and then we're watching this band for this evening. Already we have seen some severe thunderstorms along this line. So that's why we are going to be watching that towards this evening, though that severe weather threat is going to remain further south. But of course, we're still going to be keeping an eye to anything that gets close if it wants to fire up. Now, we have been looking also at some snow and a little bit of that wintry mix. That, though, has been off into Michigan. So though we had those ice concerns in southeast Michigan, our temperatures thankfully were above freezing. So though we had the stress of last week with the ice, not much of a concern for us today. So that's some good news there. I've been keeping an eye to temperatures, and thankfully we are back online for a lot of our sensors that we have across southeast Michigan. So we're seeing those readings to be into the mid 30s. Everybody's mainly in the upper 30s. We are popping 40 degrees there in BG and 43 for Findlay and Upper Sandusky. The main takeaway is all of these temperatures are above the freezing mark. So that means that we will just have rainfall for today and at times heavy. So it'll just be maybe some ponding or some slick conditions from all the heavy rainfall rather than finding any icy conditions. Because like I said, you're going to find that just north. So even though it's trying to show a little bit into northern Monroe County, we're just going to be working with heavy rainfall here for the afternoon, but it does become a little more scattered in nature. However, we will still have some of those heavy downpours at times, so plan on soaking showers. We'll also have that gusty breeze as those winds. It's been a part of our morning. It's going to continue to be a part of the equation as we go through the afternoon. So like I said, we're going to be watching for that last round of showers and even those severe thunderstorms to be working on through. But at 6 o'clock, we're not finding as much of that energy here. Yes, we're still working with that rainfall, but we're not seeing any of those stronger storms at that time because the warmer air is going to be located a little bit further south. So though we have mild temperatures in for today, we're just not tapping into all the energy that's available, and it's just not all going to be here in Northwest Ohio. So the system will wrap up towards the evening, and overnight we'll be left with mostly cloudy skies, and that's where we're going to start out tomorrow morning. You will find dry weather at the bus stop and thankfully also for that morning commute. Now, rainfall totals. We've been waterlogged a lot here lately. We picked up over 2 inches just in the last week, and we are going to continue to see that number stack up. For some of us, we're going to be looking at over an inch to be possible, mainly going to be finding that along the Mighty Maumee and further north. But even our southern counties, you're going to be knocking pretty close to that 1 inch mark on the rain gauge. So we're all on average going to be around an inch as far as that soaking showers that we have for today. And of course, we've already picked up a lot of rain, so we could potentially be looking at about 3 inches of new rainfall, and including the snow that we picked up over the weekend. So it's definitely a little more of a wet start to the end of the month. And that's not it. Even going into March, you can still find some wet weather, because Wednesday, that's going to be the first day of March. Looks like we have some rain chances that are also going to be in the forecast. It's a little bit up and down here for this week. We go from today, we're up, we're down to a dry Tuesday, up on those rain chances for Wednesday, back down for a dry Thursday, and then we're shooting up on Friday as we're going to be watching a system to be rolling on in. Now that system, of course, we are going to issue an alert day for that, so make sure you stay updated with the WTOL 11 weather app as the week continues on. Once we get through that system, though, you are going to find for your weekend dry weather, Saturday and Sunday. Not really talking rain and snow chances, and that's actually the beginning of a drier stretch. So we're going to be looking towards that brighter weekend, but of course we're checking radar here for today to make sure that we can keep that rain, well, keep that moving on out because it's pretty heavy at times. Also, you can monitor hourly temperatures and make sure that they do stay above that freezing mark for us as we go throughout the day. So have the WTOL 11 weather app ready to go for that alert day, because like I said, that is going to be going into effect for Friday. That's our next storm system, and there's a line in it. It could be rain, it could be some snow. So that's why we're going to be monitoring the track of that system. So the rain and snow definitely going to be something that we'll watch. As the system, it's actually going to pick up off towards the southwest corner of the country. So this is where it's going to undergo cyclogenesis. It's going to create a cyclone. So as it starts to take shape, it's going to move further east towards Texas, pick up that moisture from the Gulf, and then it's going to swing back and head towards the Midwest. So that means that we're going to be anywhere between and that rain and snow. It really depends on where that big red L goes. That's going to be the driver as far as that rain snow line. So we are going to be monitoring if we stay on the warm side with the rain or if we'll be on the cold side with the snow. So just something to keep an eye to. Now that extended forecast, we do have the soaking rainfall for today. And like I said, we're on and off with our rain chances as we go. Temperatures also all over, mainly looking at 40s for this week, but you're going to find 60 degrees by Wednesday. So those showers really allow those temperatures to bump. And then we have that alert day for Friday. That'll be the next thing that we're watching. Like I said, rain and snow going to be possible. Make sure you stay with us here on WTOL 11+. We will have updates as far as what we can anticipate once the system gets a little bit closer in view. Now we will have temperatures that are cold into the 30s through the weekend, but dry weather to go with it. And then next week, the dry weather does hold. Temperatures start to rebound. Typically, we find average temperatures at this point in the season to be around the lower 40s. So you can see that we're hovering just on both sides of that here on this 10-day temperature trend. And of course, though, we are going to start a new month here on Wednesday, and it looks like it could be a little more like a lion as far as that system rolling in for Friday. So make sure you stay updated with the WTOL 11 weather app, and again, right here on WTOL 11+.